Happy summer, Rupert.
Hi, it's summer.
It is, and boy, it's really hot out there.
Yeah. It's summer.
It is summertime. Well, summertime doesn't just bring heat, but it brings a lot of other good things.
Like what?
Well, we just had the 4th of July parade.
Yeah, it was fun, but a little scary with the bangs and the bangs and the boom.
Right, the fireworks were a little bit loud. Oh, well,
Yeah,
that was a little bit scary. But it also means one of my favorite things, which is grilling outside.
Ooh.
Do you like cookouts?
Oh yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, cookouts are really fun. So I thought today we would make a 3-ingredient recipe that you can do right on the grill.
Ooh, what are we gonna make?
We are going to make grilled corn. What do you think about that?
Grilled corn?
Yep.
You can grill corn?
Yeah, instead of boiling it or steaming it, you can actually grill corn right on the grill just like you would any other vegetable.
Where do they grill the corn?
Well, one of the places that they do grilled corn all the time is Mexico.
Mexico?
Yep, Mexican street corn is...
I don't know how my Mexican hat.
Oh, no, that's fine, because I know that you don't like spicy things because you're a little pig. Yeah, so we are just going to make it with 3 ingredients, and we're going to keep the spice really low. It's still really delicious because we've got that delicious grilled flavor, but it's cheesy, and it's creamy, and it's perfect for a little pig, and it's perfect for summertime. What do you think?
Yay.
All right, so why don't we get started?
Yay.
Now, our first ingredient, of course, is...
Corn.
Corn around these parts, we're in the Boston area. It's not quite in season. I like corn that has a little bit more white on the kernels.
Color is new.
Yeah, the color right now is very, very yellow, which is a different type of corn. I like...
It's a little green in it, too.
Well, the husk is green, and then you've got the brown silk, but this is
furry.
It is furry.
I bet it tickles if you kiss it.
I'm not going to kiss the corn for you.
Aww.
But corn, what we like is butter sugar corn. This is more of a yellow corn, which is just fine. But either way, in the Massachusetts area around New England, corn gets really good around late July to mid-August, which
We're almost there.
We are almost
the
there.
beginning of July.
But we couldn't wait, so we're using this corn. If you pop a kernel with your fingernail and it pops and you get all of that beautiful juiciness inside, it means ripe enough. And because we're grilling it, we're not steaming it or anything. We want to make sure it's nice and ripe.
No
so
steam.
Yep. Make sure that that's nice and ripe so that we can cook it and it will taste delicious just coming right off the grill.
Yay.
Our next ingredient is cheese.
Cheese.
Obviously, for cheesy corn, we're going to want some cheese. Now, if we were going
Is that Mexican cheese?
This is not. This is Parmesan cheese.
It's Italian.
It is Italian, but that's
all
fine.
Around the world.
That's right. This is an international corn. If you wanted to make this as a traditional Mexican cheese, you might use a queso fresco or cotija cheese. But we're going to use Parmesan just because that's what we had in the house. Might as well use what you have. You're going to want to use a nice and salty cheese. So you can use Parmesan, you can use a farmer's cheese, or you could even use feta if you have that in the house.
Feta?
Yep. And you know
Feta
that
and corn.
Feta and corn, as long as it's nice and crumbly and salty.
Then you have the yellow and the white.
Then you have yellow and white. See, you are a very smart pig. Our final ingredient is mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise.
Yep. We are going to use mayonnaise to make the cheese stick to the corn. What do you think about that?
It's sticky cheese.
It's sticky cheese. Well, actually, it's not sticky cheese. What we're going to use this, instead of butter, you wouldn't want to use butter on this because the cheese really wouldn't stick and it would be very oily. And traditionally, you use mayonnaise. It's just a little tiny bit. We're just going to use...
The mayonnaise is like glue.
It's just like glue. It glues that cheese right onto the corn, and it tastes really good. You don't really even taste the mayonnaise because you use just a very little bit. You're just going to brush it on top after you've got it right off the grill.
Yay.
All right, first of all, please ignore the incredibly rusty grill pans. This grill has been through many, 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 many years, and I should replace the grill on top, but I haven't yet. So I'm going to start by spraying this down with some olive oil. And that's just going to keep the corn from sticking. I really should have done that before I turned on the grill. Don't spray olive oil spray on the grill while it's lit. That's a terrible thing. Anyway, now you don't need to do anything with your corn to prepare it for grilling like this. You just need to put it directly onto the grill, and this is on medium-high heat. and we are just going to let this sit for about 5 minutes aside on medium-high heat. We're just looking for this to become charred on the bottom a little bit, and for it all to cook through. Now, to help it cook through, I'm just going to close the cover for a few minutes, and then I will open it back up and we will turn them over. Okay, so it's been a few minutes on this side, and as you can see, we've got some nice grill mark happening on the corn, so I'm just going to start turning these. You can continuously turn this so that it doesn't get too brown on any one side. You really don't want it to get so charred that it turns black or anything. You just want it to get a nice amount of color, and you of course want that grilled flavor. All right, these are fresh off the grill, and as you can see, we have nice grill marks on them. Now, we want to work really quickly because these are hot, and that's exactly what you want when you are working with this corn. So you're just going to get a little tiny bit of mayonnaise. You're not going to want a whole lot. What you want is just for this to melt and to be able to allow the cheese to stick to it. So we're just going to add the mayonnaise to each one of these. And once you've got the mayonnaise on this, now we're just going to sprinkle this with your cheese. Now, if you want to make this more authentically Mexican, you can use queso fresco, or you can use cotija cheese, but this looks really good. There are some other things that you can add to help with the flavor of this. Definitely some chili powder, paprika, that's normally on Mexican street corn. Also, we have some limes ready to go, and if you squeeze that over on top, that's going to make this taste really great. It makes all of the flavors pop, not just the corn pop. Let's see how Rupert likes it. Doesn't that look fantastic, Rupert?
Oh, it looks yummy!
Oh, yeah. And like I said, you can add chili powder, you can add paprika.
Chili's too spicy, though.
That's what we said. Chili is too spicy for a little pig like you, so you're just going to have it with the cheese, but maybe a little paprika for a little bit of spice. How about that?
Yeah, maybe a little spicy.
Okay, so we might add that.
Are you sure I don't need my hat for that, then?
I'm sure that you don't need your hat because this is delicious all on its own, and you are perfect all on your own. There you go. Hold still. Well, I know, but I just had to get all of that cheese and all of that mayonnaise right off.
Very messy.
Eating corn on the cob is very messy, but it's really good, right?
Yummy.
Yeah, so did you enjoy this week's grilled 3-ingredient recipe?
Yay!
Well, terrific. So let's go through this. What can people do if they like this show?
They can comment below.
You can comment down below. We really like to hear from you and what you like to eat. Why don't you give us some ideas on what you would like for the next 3-ingredient recipe? What else can you do?
They can share it with all your friends.
Sharing is incredibly important. If you share this on Facebook or on Twitter, or even if you email the link to this video to a friend, they'll learn about 3-ingredient recipes and they can join us as well. And finally, you can also subscribe.
Yeah.
Subscribing means
Subscribe.
Yep, if you hit the little red subscribed button down below,
It's
it means
red?
It's red. Well, if you are not subscribed, it's red. If you are subscribed, it turns white. How's about that?
Ooh.
I know.
Just like the feta cheese.
Just like the feta cheese. Sure, that sounds good. So if you hit subscribe, it means that you will be informed of the next 3-ingredient recipe. You'll also be informed of the other things that we do on this channel. On weekends, the weekend coming up, you'll see George.
He's the kitty.
George is the kitty. He
Well,
talks.
one of the kitties anyway. There's a lot of other kitties running
There
around
are a
these
lot of
days.
kitties, and there's a lot of dogs. We just met Baxter recently.
Oh, he talks a lot.
Yeah, he talks a lot.
And I love...
Imagine that.
What?
Talking a lot.
Oh.
Yeah. George talks about good self-esteem. He's here on weekends, and I talk about long hair on Tuesdays.
Yay.
So whether you subscribe or you just joined us for the first time, thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you again next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Today, for our 3-ingredient recipe, we would do something grilled. What do you think about that?
Yeah. What?
Oh, I thought I would go into the next one. Sorry.